Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
And remember this. Very, very important words to live by. If the going gets real easy, you may be going downhill. Look out. Good morning. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America. Followed by a Patriot on this Thursday morning, July 23rd, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours on it's going to be another warm one today. I'm going to have Gina with the weather forecast here in just a few moments. Zeb at the ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires in a very safe, clean environment. You stop in and see them today. Along with our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and start things off right with the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My friend.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I can hear the pride in your voice. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. Call back later. You didn't yesterday, and I missed you. Where were you? You didn't get your gold star on the wall.
Well, don't pay the ransom I escaped.
Okay, Doug, thanks. Hey, the weather brought to you by K&R Rental. Don't pay the ransom, I've escaped. Okay, thank you. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Hello, Roger and the crew. I know they're tuned in and ready to go this morning. You better believe it. They get there early in the morning at 7 a.m. And they offer the rental of the best tools and equipment anywhere, all kinds, ready for you, all jobs. Man, I tell you, they can help you. They've got everything to rent for both long and short-term rental. And if you're not sure what you need, just give them a call, 678-3122. These are people that are really easy to work with. Right there on the Burley-Paul Highway, K&R Rental. We'll have more right after Gina on the weather.
Possibly some storm action by the afternoon, but still a relatively decent day. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting mostly sunny skies for today. We do have about a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms by later on this afternoon and early evening hours. High of 90 with an overnight low of 57. For tomorrow, looks like sunny skies, high of 86, nice and calm. For Friday night, clear skies with low 57. Sunny and 87 for Saturday and Sunday, back up to 90. That's a look at your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, she does a great job on that weather. Not too bad. It's summertime. And, of course, K&R Rental serving you with the best of equipment you need for any task. I mean, construction projects or maybe working in your lawn or garden. They've got it all waiting for you right there at 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn on the Burley-Paul Highway. Like I said, if you're not sure what you need, why don't you call and chat with them a little bit before you drive over, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Caller, I'll be right with you, I promise. I want to remind everybody, too, about our dear friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, and they can have a lot of your items ready for you on the counter if you'll call ahead. 678-0459. They open the doors at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday, and literally all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. I'm telling you, better check on the air conditioning filters. They've got them. It's going to be warm the next couple of days. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Very, very nice people. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, Deb. I got it all figured out.
Okay.
And here's a scenario.
Oh, okay.
If all of our U.S. senators and representatives were to donate half of their salary to the Social Security Fund, that would help. Because they're only working half-time, so that won't hurt them any. But on the other hand, Idaho legislature meets once a year for about 3 months, and guess what? We have a balanced budget.
Well, there's no question about it. I've got a lot of animosity against our national representations of senators and congressmen as to what they do, how they do it, how they get paid, and how they basically shirk their duties and forget that we are the bosses and they are the employees. I'm almost kind of sad that you brought that up to me this morning, because I was going to try the key word, to stay in a better mood this morning. But when you start talking about congressmen and senators, it starts to curdle my milk a little bit.
Yeah, but on the other hand, we have a wonderful state government.
I agree with that.
We have a few apples in there that don't work right, but for the whole of it, it's a wonderful system. We have a balanced budget, and we don't have any riots.
No, I would agree with what you said, but the animus that I have on our national scale is absolutely, I got to really watch my verbiage on the program, because I'm afraid some things that I really feel are going to slip out. Does that make it clear?
Yes, it does, but I want to tell you, at one time I met a U.S. representative from Idaho. His name was George Hansen.
Yes.
And I had a chance to talk to him. He went there to make things right, and guess what? They buried him alive.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'll tell you, I've got
you got to get along to get along.
Well, tell that to Ted Yoho from Florida. You heard about him, I'm sure.
No, I haven't.
Well, let me just give you a quick synopsis, and then I've got to fly with the rest of the birds here this morning. Ted Yoho ran into Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the steps going into Congress the other morning, and they did not exactly share pleasantries. And Ted Yoho is fed up with AOC's craziness and disgusting attitude, and he told her so in so many words. And, of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez demanding an apology, and Yoho stood up and gave somewhat of an apology. I doubt seriously if I would have given her an apology. She exacerbated the problem by saying that Yoho started screaming and saying all kinds of terrible things about her. Oh, it was terrible. But he was just being doggone honest about what she is and what she does. So I don't know if I'd apologized at all. Ted Yoho, Florida, he's kind of on the hot seat, but I say it's all going to boil over and blow over in about another 2 or 3 days.
Well, go Yoho.
Yeah. All right, Keith. See you later. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I want to remind you about Dino's Septic Service. Yes, on these warm days of 90 degrees or better, you don't want to be standing out there pumping out a septic tank. Can you think of anything you'd rather do? Yeah, I got a list of about 10,000 or 20,000 things. Well, I know people that do it, and they put a smile on their face, and they always provide fast, fair-friendly service, and that's Dino's Septic Service. Oh, my goodness, septic tank pumping, liquid waste waste removal, sewer and sink drain line cleaning, backhoe services. The list goes on. And they've got the latest in equipment to better serve you. All you have to do is just give them a call, 436-6526 or 678-1638. I'm telling you, they are the best at what they do. Dino's Septic Service, with the big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Caller, I'll be right there, I promise. I just got to get some other good words on here real quick, and those good words involve our friends, and they are our friends, over at the Minidoka County Fair. Next week's the fair. I'm telling you, July 27th through August 1st, all American flair at the Minidoka Fair. These are nice people over there. And like on Monday, they're going to have the lawnmower races, start your grass cutters. And then Tiny Tot Gymkhana on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, a great big Dutch oven cobbler and ice cream social. Oh, that'll be good. And don't forget, on Tuesday night, too, they've got the PMT concert. And they're going to have junior rodeos and an open rodeo next week on Friday and Saturday. All of this at the Minidoka County Fair, July 27th through August 1st. You better be there at the Minidoka County Fair. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. You know, this bunch that's out there doing all this destructive work there for the Democratic Party have no idea what they're giving up. Because if socialism and communism takes over in this country, they won't be getting away with stuff like they're doing now. They would roll the tanks out and there'd be another Tiananmen Square here in this country.
Let me ask you something. You know, because you've been around for quite some time and have seen some of the pitfalls and pratfalls of America, and we've risen back up and taken charge. What's going on in our cities today, whether it's Portland, whether it's Chicago, whether it's New York, whether it's Seattle, whether it's Albuquerque, New Mexico, it doesn't make any difference. Things are out of control. And I know some people are going to say, well, Zeb, you don't want to see kind of a dictatorship and Gestapo treatment. You know what, Tony? In a way, I want to see this come to an end. I do not care, and underline the words, I do not care, who gets a little bit of their feathers ruffled. This has got to stop. We have to put America back where it should be. A land of opportunity, a land of freedom, and a land where you don't have to hide behind closed doors because the vermin and the mobs are taking over.
Well, they don't understand that once this bunch takes this country over, they've lost their freedom.
Yep.
They're not going to be out there burning down buildings anymore. The only place they're going to end up is in the gulag somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really worried because the left is orchestrating this fine line to walk. And they're creating a real split here in America, and they're smiling all the way to the next problem. They know that if Trump comes in, he's going to be absolutely raked over the coals for federal involvement. And they're pushing the buttons. The left and the evil in our society is pushing the buttons.
Well, I was over in Vietnam in '54 when Operation Vulture was being put together. And I saw what was happening over there with the French. And the crew that I was on with General Caldera was trying to get enough of allies together to bail the French out of Dien Bien Phu.
Mm-hmm.
And President Johnson says, forget it, we can't get any help. We're just going to let it go.
Yeah. And
it got let go. We saw what happened in Vietnam.
Yep.
And I see it happening here. We're not careful.
Well, I can't imagine why all of us, I don't care if you live in Burley, I don't care if you live in Twin, I don't care if you live in Paul, Jerome, Murtaugh, it doesn't make any difference. All of us as Americans should be very nervous, scared about what's going on in our cities, what's going on in the suburbs, the lawlessness, the shootings, the absolute chaos that is orchestrated from the left. And here's the thing, and if the Democrats want to arbitrate, come on the program, Democrats. You've been invited thousands of times. The Democrats say nothing or do nothing to stop all this chaos.
Well, they want this to continue.
Yep.
This is the only way they can bring Donald Trump down.
Yep.
But they're bringing all of us down.
That's right. There is no, I'm going to say this, and if they're teed off, great. The Democrats have no pride in America. They only have a very self-esteemed love for themselves, and this is beyond the pale. It's got to stop. Tony?
Fail the country.
Yep. God bless you, man. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Today we're going to be at Denny's Restaurant for lunch bunch. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. We're going to be at Denny's Restaurant for lunch bunch today at 611 North Overland in Burley. And our dear, dear friends, Jimmy and Frida, they're going to take all the names. We're going to have drawings, of course, with our friends Smith's Foods, Walmart, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's, all of that and more. And we urge you to be there. But you got to help me on some of the rules that we're going to follow. And this is the way it's going to be. We're all going to wear masks while we're in there in the room. Of course, not while you're eating. You can kind of lift your mask up or tip it down. And we're not going to be shaking hands. We're not going to be going around the room standing over other people that are sitting at tables and eating. We're going to be very regimented because we want this to work. We want this to last. So please, we're going to be there at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley today. Great food, super nice people to work with. Of course, Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. That must be me.
Well, I hope so.
At the Burley Senior Center today, we're having pigs in a blanket, all wrapped up and warm with all of the trimmings.
I just imagine you getting there early in the morning and finding a whole bunch of blankets and some baling twine and tying them up.
Yes, sir. They're ready.
Okay. Joe, we'll send everybody over to the Senior Center. God bless you, man. You've been a great cheerleader for them.
More people.
All right, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. What a nice man, Joe Taylor, and helping support our seniors. We really do appreciate that. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Redder's Showcase. They're having an indoor, nice and cool, tent sale right there at 2611 Overland in Burley. Holy moly. You better get on in there today. I mean, deals that you will not see for a long time again. Dishwashers starting at just $349. Great selection of air conditioners starting at just $179. 12 months, same as cash. You better get in there and check it out today. Redder's Showcase with a big indoor tent sale going on at 2611 Overland in Burley. Caller, good morning. Thank you.
Top of the morning to you, laddie.
Oh, you escaped.
I did. So don't pay any ransom that they ask for.
Well, to be honest with you,
It's $12.32, and the guy working for me was able to raise 32 cents.
Okay. What can I do for you, Doug?
Well, the Democrats are always talking income inequality, and it needs to be more level and everything else. But you look at all the ones that are saying that, you need $15 an hour wage to live, yet they're millionaires living in mansions, in gated communities, drinking or eating $50 a pint ice cream, but yet they want everybody else to divvy up their money to make it equal. They do not want to divvy any of their own.
Let me ask you a question. Let's assume that you have your children back at home with you and I have my children back with me. Let's go back in the calendar quite a few years. Now, do you remember when your kids, or even for that matter, when you had your first job and you went to work and you basically worked for very low minimum wage per hour, you did the job, you kept going up the ladder, etc. When these people keep saying income inequality, I laugh at them because they're stupid. There is no such thing as income inequality if you will put forth the best foot forward to try to do the job, move up the ladder, and become successful on your own talents.
Exactly. It's not income inequality. It is what you call lack of work ethic.
That's responsibility inequality.
Yes, and respect.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of these kids nowadays have no respect for anybody else's property. All they are is a me society. And I don't understand these people in Portland for 60 days or 59 days.
56 days last night, a month and a half. And this is so asininely stupid that it's being allowed in this country. I just shake my head in just wonderment as to how dumb we can get.
Well, my question is, if I went 50 days without going to work, because they show up at 10, 11 o'clock at night and go till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do they work? How do they support themselves? That's where we need to find out what's going on here. We need to capture them, going to run them up the flagpole for the maximum penalty that we can give them unless they start talking.
Well, you know as well as I do, and this is no pie-in-the-sky attitude, it's a fact, that these people are being financed and money forwarded to them to be paid anarchists.
Exactly, and we need to find out who and then bring them up on treason charges for trying to take down the United States.
You got it. No, I'm not going to go along with this garbage of, basically, we just want more. We want income equality. Then get up off your dead butt, go to work harder, work smarter, get your education, and propel yourself up the ladder.
Exactly, because in the Bill of Rights, it says the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't say we guarantee you happiness.
Yeah, we're not going to tin cup you for the rest of your life.
Yep. And have you noticed how Nancy Pelosi has kind of shifted to AOC's thinking? Amar, remember when she said some people did something? And Nancy Pelosi the other day says people will do what people do.
Yeah, don't get me started on Nancy Pelosi. Please, Doug, you know better. That's the rules of the program. Don't mention Pelosi's name. You're going to just upset me.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry to say, but that's where they're at, folks.
I know.
You go look at Black Lives Matter. I seen a video. Go to their website and hit the button donate.
Yep.
And then go down through the lists and stuff, and you can find out where this money is going to.
And for what purposes? Yes.
Soros has 2 501c3 organizations there that is receiving this money you're donating to Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something, that Nancy Pelosi, now you did it. You opened up the can of worms. Doggone you.
Pull them out and go fishing.
There you go. Nancy Pelosi, and I don't care if anyone is offended by this statement because it's absolutely the fact. She is the slime on the bottom of a water barrel that's been sitting behind your shed for the last 5 years. When she comes out and calls our federal agents that are trying to protect federal property Nazi stormtroopers, she is demonizing the people that are trying to restore the peace and keep the peace. I have nothing but disrespect for Nancy Pelosi.
I don't either. And what comes out of her mouth, I take it as 99.9% lies.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, man, I got to run. I got another call. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hey, everybody, I know I'm like a broken record, but let's do what we can for our senior centers. Let's go eat there and leave with a full tummy and a full heart.
By the way, you're going to be at Lunch Bunch, aren't you?
That is today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I escaped just in time.
Oh. See you later, Doug. Thank you. Don't forget Magic Valley Carpet at 613 D Street in Rupert welcomes you to the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo next week. Man, these are good people, and they do have all your flooring needs. Carpet, hardwood, laminate, tile, everything, and their installation is guaranteed, and they've got over 36 years of experience. They're good, and they know. They wish everybody a great time at the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo for 2020. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, the Joe Biden and Obama are having a special little deal where they're going to sit in a room distancing themselves at least 6 feet and probably wearing a mask and telling what a great job they did as president and vice president.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have anything to say about it. You just have to accept it.
Well, Barack Obama has been hauled out by the Democrats to try to salvage vacant stare Joe Biden. And, of course, Obama is the king of the under-the-table corruption crew. And they're going to have the sit-down and promotion of Joe Biden. Joe's a good old boy. By golly, you better vote for him for president because I had him in my administration, and he's absolutely the kingpin. Well, Joe absolutely sits there with a stare on his face because he can't even comprehend what's being said. And I just absolutely despise Barack Obama in the way that he has come out and calls Trump a racist. Biden's called Trump a racist, and it's dirty politics at its worst. Can you imagine, Keith, honestly, think back in history, have you ever heard a former president treat and talk about a current president as bad as Obama and Biden and others are talking about Trump? This is absolutely gutter politics.
Yes, it is. But, you know, there's been a lot of talk about George W. Bush and what a bad job he did. But that's nothing compared to Obama and this other character.
Well, I never liked Obama. I didn't think anything good about Obama, but never once on the radio did I say anything in derogatory fashion, even though the Idaho Democratic Party, led by a couple of henchmen, tried to hang the racist label on me back in 2007, which shows they had the IQ of a hockey puck. But anyway, Keith, God bless you for your call. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Say one more thing.
Quickly.
I lost my respect to Obama when he said if he could get all the white blood out of his body, he would do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The man is evil.
Well, they're creating more of a racism divide, a chasm that they hope never is filled. And that's where they make their money, and that's how they stay in politics. It's pathetic. Thank you, Keith.
You bet.
All right, sir. Don't forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service is going to have the Callan Estate Auction at 11 o'clock this Saturday, located in Buell. I'll give you the address, 1281 East, 4051 North. Now, if I told you how to get there, you'd get lost. It's from the Les Schwab Tire in Buell, travel west on 4100 North. Then keep looking for the signs. I don't want to confuse you. Keep looking for the auction signs. They're going to have vehicles. They're going to have all kinds of equipment, shop items like a Black & Decker Workmate, lawn and garden items, furniture and household, antiques and collectibles, really some neat furniture, and all kinds of miscellaneous at the Callan Estate Auction this Saturday, 11 o'clock, over in the Buell area, and managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. I cannot remember if Sean mooed the cow. I can't remember if I had another call or not.
Nope.
Oh, a simple nope. Okay. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I mean this when I say this, that Ted Wheeler in Portland, the mayor, is a worthless traitor, a worthless left-wing kook, and simply a worthless mayor. If you didn't see the tape, you need to watch the news more, as he picked up a microphone and stood with the anarchists in Portland, basically saying, I stand with you, I support you. That was pathetic. 56 straight nights, 56 straight nights of absolute chaos in Portland, and this total waste of the office of mayor, Ted Wheeler, should be absolutely forcibly removed from his office and jailed on charges of inciting insurrection and riots and destruction of his city. I could not believe it. watching this mousy little man stand up there with the anarchists. I support you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, well, good morning, Zeb. Have you ever noticed how the Democrats want to do away with the Constitution? Yet every time it suits them, they say, that's unconstitutional.
Yeah, they are the biggest hypocrites that have ever come down the pike. Our Constitution, in my opinion, and I'd like to get yours on this, is being whittled away with a very sharp knife by the Democrats, Pelosi, Durbin, Schumer, and others. The First Amendment and the Second Amendment, if they take over in power with the Pinocchio, Biden, in November, we are in major trouble. Now it's your turn.
Well, I'm not sure that we're not in real major trouble, no matter who's elected. They've just whittled Trump down to nothing, and I don't know if we can survive even with the Trump second term.
Let me ask you something. You're always a straight shooter when you call into this program. If you could be, and I'm being serious when I ask you this, if you could be president for the rest of the week, what would you implement, what would you do to stop this chaos in this country?
Well, I'm afraid I'd probably do something that most people might not like, but it's time to get rough with them and put a stop to it. Tell them go home, go back to mama and go in the basement, whatever it is. But to do that, it may take some blood, and that's what it took in the past when we wanted to make this country. It took blood, and it may take it again. And I know that doesn't sound good. A lot of people don't agree with it, but that might be where we're coming to.
No, and I agree with you. I mean, this mamby-pamby, hands-off the little Johnny and Susie attitude is not helping anything, and it's time to crack down and let people know this is America. You will not infringe on the rights of God-fearing taxpayers. You will not tell God-fearing taxpayers they have to stay in their home. They can't walk their dog over in the city park because now it's a new CHOP area. I mean, this is ridiculous, and we've got to put power back where it belongs as a civilized society with regulatory means and laws that are implemented for the fairness of all people.
You're 100% on that. That's exactly where we need to be. One other point, too. I read or heard that the leader of the BLM, his last name is Newsom. Is that correct?
Newsom, there's a Gavin Newsom that's governor of California, and I do not have the official name of the Black Lives Matter leader per se in front of me, but it could very well be. But I do know that some people probably are convinced that Gavin Newsom is probably one of their big supporters. He's an idiotic governor from California.
Oh, I 100% on that one. But yes, that's where I was going.
Okay.
I had heard this, that Newsom was in charge, was the head leader of the BLM.
It could very well be his name.
It was in relation.
Well, it could very well be his name, and I would be amiss if I said something as a point of fact when I don't have the name right in front of me. But I do appreciate your comment. I'll look that up, hopefully, during the news at 9 o'clock. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, one other thing.
Yes, sir.
We have a vaccine for the flu. We still have the flu.
Yes, very aptly put. Thank you, sir. Yes, how true. Thank you. You have a great day. Thank you very much. Caller, I'll be right with you. Stand by. Don't forget Berry Equipment and Rental and Sales Service and Parts. 3 locations serving you at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin. Hello, Eli. And the Napa location. They've got the equipment for all the lifting and the digging and the carrying and the pushing and the grading and the leveling. Oh, I'm telling you, they got the equipment. Need something done? Well, my golly, they've got the equipment. All the Bobcats, all the trenchers, all the scissor lifts. They've got all the Doosan wheel loaders and excavators, and really great people to work with super financing programs and lease programs. Berry Equipment and Rental in Burley, Twin Falls, and Napa. Thank you, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Deb. Well, you know, there's a real tie-in between the attack on Christianity and Black Lives Matter, because they're both Marxist projects. If you read Karl Marx, the Communist Manifesto, one of the planks is to eliminate the opiate of the people, which is the Christianity and the Judeo-Christian religion. And because, and so you see all the attack now on churches and statues and so forth that are religious artifacts. And then you got Black Lives Matter, which they openly, the leaders are Marxist, and of course that's Karl Marx, and we got a real problem on our hands, Ed.
Well, of course we got a real problem on our hands. I mean, it's obvious. But here's the problem. We have a political party in this country, the Democrats, that are basically aiding and abetting and sheltering all this chaos and anarchy to fit their means of taking over power and solidifying power and getting rid of any conservative thought. It's obvious.
Oh, it absolutely is. The censorship of Twitter just took down 7,000 accounts, and 150,000 other people are tied to one account. It's just incredible, the censorship that's going on, but it's all about Saul Alinsky, the rules for radicals. He dedicated his book to Lucifer, Satan. Hillary Clinton did her thesis on Saul Alinsky, and of course the three tenets as divide the people, rich versus poor, black versus white, and etc. And then you demonize those that don't go along, and you see that happening, and so you get people, even Chick-fil-A guy now has capitulated.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
Wait a minute.
Then it's just CNN, the rest of the media just makes it up and lies.
Just hang on a second. Let me jump in there. I was a big supporter, and I remember a program back in February, and I was a big supporter of Chick-fil-A. And because they stood up for family decency and family values. And you're right. They capitulated. They rolled over like a or a whale on the beach. And I'm really embarrassed and ashamed that I basically said good things about them, because they went with the crowd. They saw the dollar bills, and they had more respect for filthy lucre than they did a moral value content. And it bothers me.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's so much pressure put on, and you see the big businesses, and of course, that have capitulated totally. A lot of them have been the financiers of this Black Lives Matter and so forth. But if we don't take a strong stand as Christians and as patriots against this nonsense, we were going to lose our country. I just had a deal from a refugee from Venezuela. They said, if you don't think it can happen here, we didn't think it was going to happen in Venezuela either.
Yep.
And now you see what they've got, and that's coming here, and it's not that far down the road.
I agree. Adrian, I've only got 10 seconds, and I want to mention Freedom is the Cure is going to be held at the Twin Falls City Park August 1st at 10 a.m. in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Free admission. Going to be a great forum for freedom. Don't forget that on August 1st. I got to run. I'm late. I got a weather forecast to get on. Adrian, thank you.
Yeah, well, I hope that everybody can come to that. We certainly want a big turnout. We've got some fantastic speakers, including the Lieutenant Governor is going to be our feature keynote speaker. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, sir. Time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. I went through a period there where my hearing was going, ooh, it wasn't so good. And I went over, made an appointment for a hearing screening, and Dr. Christine Pickup helped me a lot. And I'll guarantee you they've got all the new technology. They've got all the new modern methods. And they're moving, by the way, to a bigger location to serve you. They're moving to a larger space on the Minidoka Memorial Hospital campus, and they're going to be able to double their patient capacity and add new services. Oh my goodness, they are helping you. They're right behind the Minidoka Hospital. You get a hold of them today. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, 312 0957. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Possibly some storm action by the afternoon, but still a relatively decent day. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting mostly sunny skies for today. We do have about a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms by later on this afternoon and early evening hours. High of 90 with an overnight low of 57. For tomorrow, looks like sunny skies, high of 86, nice and calm. For Friday night, clear skies with a low of 57. Sunny and 87 for Saturday and Sunday, back up to 90. That's a look at your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
She does the job of giving us the weather. Straightforward, we'll take it, by golly. Good morning. Thank you, Gina. And the weather brought to you again by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And I'll say it again, they're moving to a larger space. I believe they're going to do that on August 4th, right there on the Minidoka Memorial Hospital campus. So be sure and check them out. Give them a call. Make an appointment for your hearing health. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, 312-0957. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Major League Baseball. This is almost comical to some extent. Major League Baseball is going to be starting a shortened season today, as I yawn. I love baseball. I'm sorry, I love baseball, but I cannot support the pros and their attitude of these prima donna millionaires that really can't see the forest because a tree's standing in the way of the American flag. Yeah, I'm going to stand behind that. I do feel sorry for the many, many baseball players, of which there are many that are in the pros, that are really decent Americans that respect the opportunity that this great country has afforded them to play a little children's game and make millions of dollars. And I know there are many that absolutely stand for the flag, stand for the national anthem, even though in the dugout right behind them there are degrading remarks and there are others that try to put them down for their patriotism. But when I see many of these prima donnas that are multimillionaires, thanks to a country that has given them this opportunity, I damn them that kneel for the flag and show total disrespect. Well, the season's going to start today in an abbreviated form, and it's so surreal the way they're going to do it. And I'm not making this up. They're not going to have any fans in the stands at the ballparks, but they have taken the time to put cardboard cutouts of people's heads in the seats. Kind of like a Twilight Zone from back in the 60s. And they're also going to provide fake crowd noise. And some of the new rules that Major League Baseball has conjured up, I think, are going to be the destruction of the game and destruction of all the really qualified records from the past. I just am against what they're doing. I think that there could have been, should have been, and hopefully will be fans in the stands. When you're talking about 40 to 50,000 capacity seating, you're not going to convince me at all that you couldn't have at least 10% of those seats sold to the general public to have somewhat of a live atmosphere and live audience. And out of that 10%, I don't think that there would be much of a fear in a 50,000-seat stadium of having a problem with social distancing. I just think the way they're going at this is kind of ridiculous. What are your thoughts? 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I also wanted to let you know this. I talked earlier this morning about a very pathetic individual, a Governor Gavin Newsom of California. And if you didn't hear this, you need to know about this because it's just one more straw that's breaking the camel's back. The camel, of course, is us, the United States of America. He's demanding that illegal aliens, and that term a lot of people don't want to use anymore today because they're afraid to. I will. Illegal aliens that are here in the United States have more representation in Congress. Now, let's mull those words over just for a little bit. They're illegal aliens. They are from another country, and they've come here to the United States illegally, and they are not citizens of this country, so they are alien to this country, and Governor Newsom wants to provide more representation in Congress for them. He wants more benefits for them. And if we don't go along with his thinking, here we go. The terminology comes back. We are racist if we don't go along with this. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, this is almost laughable. 20 years ago, or less, and some stupidity like this would have been thrown up in front of the American public that have laughed Gavin Newsom right out of Dodge City. He's laughable anyway because he's basically not a very smart man. But the left is always trying to do something that's going to disrupt the value of being and staying an American citizen. Unbelievable. Just drives me nuts. I want to remind you, too, while I'm waiting for another phone call, our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you absolutely. They've got the best of tires for all your driving needs. You know, you owe it to yourself. I mean, this garbage of being cooped up and can't go here, put your hands on the glass and look outside and say, gee, I'd like to go over to Uncle Hubert's for a while. Well, by golly, we got to get out and enjoy our lives. That's the way it is. And if it takes a little drive, make sure you're driving on safe tires. And they've got all your safe tires at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Yes, sir, for your car, pickup, SUV, horse trailer, boat trailer, everything. And along with that, I'm telling you, I'm impressed with their brake service and, of course, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. I bought batteries, and they're good ones right there at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations, James and Buell, Dan on Pole Line and Twin, Lane and Rupert, Mike and Jerome, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin Falls, the Twist family in Paul, I bit my tongue, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see those good folks today. Reminder that we're going to be at Lunch Bunch at 11:30. Yes, we are. And I urge you, please bring a mask with you, and there will be no handshaking, and we don't want people going around the room standing over people that are eating and talking to them. No, we're not going to allow that. There's certain things that we are going to do and adhere to, and I'm going to be adamant about that. I hate to sound like a drill sergeant, but we're going to do the best we can to help make sure we can continue to keep doing the best we can. So everybody be there at 11:30 today at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, Lunch Bunch. I do not want to see this die. I do not want to see this curtailed. Caller, quickly, you're on the air. Go fast.
Well, nothing will die as long as we fight back. And that's the thing, see. Free market capitalists, people with free thinking, people have a dream. They want to have a dream. They want to have a home. They want to do whatever it is they do. And we're being squashed by these peons who don't have a dream. All they have is antagonism. They're evil. And we've got to, in spite of them, we've got to fight back. Evil will never leave us. You keep thinking they're going to go home and shut up. Well, they're never going to stop. We've just got to go forward, and they're miserable. And misery loves company, and they want us to be miserable with them.
Yeah, and I refuse to let them control my life. I really have become, in my older years, one that I don't care anymore. If somebody tells me I have to do something and adhere to their standards, that isn't going to happen. I just feel like you do, that we have got to stand up and protect our Constitution. We've got to protect our freedoms. We've got to protect our families. We've got to do everything we can to protect our lifestyle, but I'm not going to adhere to laying down in the middle of the road and letting these people run over me.
Well, this morning, I heard
Randy, I've only got 30 seconds. So, Randy, listen to me. I've got 30 seconds real fast.
What'd you say?
I said, I've only got 30 seconds real fast. I got to cut you off.
Well, where are the men, like in Portland, Oregon? And where are the men stopping these people from tearing down the society that they have built? Where are the men in Oregon? Why aren't they standing there and not fighting back physically, but just standing there and having a presence? I don't know where they are.
Well, there aren't any real tough John Waynes anymore. And besides, they took his name off the airport. God bless you, Randy. I got to run to the news. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll be back in about 7 minutes with more. Don't go away. Oh, it's going to be another warm one out there this morning and for the rest of the day. It was kind of nice having that rain yesterday, wasn't it? How many of you folks enjoyed the rain for a while? I did. I sat up on the porch late in the afternoon and just thought, this is nice. This is nice. Welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch, and of course brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, the best in tires, brake service, front end alignment, you name it. It's all there in a very safe, clean environment. All 7 locations, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And don't forget, too, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Next week is the big Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. And I'll tell you what, the theme, All-American Flair at the Minidoka County Fair. I'm telling you, bring the whole family and enjoy all the activities. I mean, they're going to just have a chock-full day every day. There's no gate fee at the fair. Parking is free. They're going to start things off next Monday night with the lawnmower races. We're going to be talking to Greg Walden a little bit later on about that. And, of course, every night is something special, ending with next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, the Open Rodeo on July 31st and August 1st at 7:30 p.m. Oh, my, you're going to have fun with your friends, neighbors, relatives, everybody at the Minidoka County Fair for 2020. You be sure and stop over and say hello to some really nice people. By the way, I also want to reiterate, when I talk about nice people, I have to mention, because he's one of the nicest people I've ever met, Joel Heward and his family and staff at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. You know, they are there to serve families. They've got flexible hours so that they're absolutely there at a time when you need them, when there's the passing of a loved one, and they always provide the families they serve the best possible support and comfort with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Please remember the name and the number. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert, 436-5636. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Really, really nice people. One more quick note, and then I know that Penny's waiting in the wings, waiting to come on with a tap dance this morning. I want to remind you about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. We're going to have a little interview with Nick and Sharon coming up in just a few minutes, so you stand by for that. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and here she is, ladies and gentlemen, walking out onto the stage with her entourage, the president and CEO of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, Penny Main.
Oh, my goodness. How did you know I used to tap dance?
Seriously, did you know that? I was quite a tap dancer.
I did not know that. I got to ask you, when you get up on the ends of your toes on those little kind of flat surface on the toes, how do you stand the pain?
Now, hon, here's the thing that you don't know apparently. Because you were a cowboy, and I don't expect you to understand a lot about tap dancing and being a ballerina, but that's ballet, and I will say that I was never a ballerina.
Oh.
And those are the people that stand on those. Yeah, I don't understand it either. I was a tap dancer, so I can't answer that question.
Oh, okay. Well, didn't some tap dancers, didn't they always kind of stand on their feet or their toes a little bit too?
Well, yeah, we did. Yeah, and it wrecked our feet for the rest of our lives. Not going to lie.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so how are you doing today?
I am peachy fine, wonderful, warm, and you've got a lot of great issues that are going on right here.
Yeah, let's just get to it. Again, as you know, the things we talk about on your show every Thursday morning, and thanks to you for letting us do that. We're so grateful. Includes our chamber members, and we would love to have you be part of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. And as I say every Thursday morning, it's a great day to be in business in Mini-Cassia. If you want to become part of the best network in town with reliable connectivity, that's a mouthful.
Woo.
But we do connect members to members and members to communities. Be part of the Chamber of Commerce today. Call us at 679-4793. The great news is our golf scramble, we're still moving forward with it. September 2nd, the summer's flown by. We've had extraordinary support. I can't even begin to go down the list and thank the folks that have really suited up and signed up for our golf scramble. We are all so blessed by doing that. We still have a couple of really small opportunities that you can get involved in. If you're interested, please call us here at the Chamber right away. One of the things we're getting ready to start, too, we're hopeful. It's still kind of on hold, but we're going to try and launch our monthly chamber member luncheons, which typically we do every month, but we haven't had one since March. We're going to try and launch that August 13th out here at Hayburn Park, featuring the superintendents of schools from Minidoka and Cassia County, as well as Debbie Critchfield, who's the communications director for Cassia School District. They're going to be talking about what school going to look like this fall. And so if you want to be part of that outside event, we will have masks available and hand sanitizer and all of those things to follow protocol. Please RSVP to us here at the Chamber no later than August 7th. We'll determine at that juncture what the response has been if we decide to let that event fly or not. A couple of other things coming up. You already mentioned the Minidoka County Fair. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's going to be a great time next week over there. I hope we have a really good turnout, and I think they will. They've done everything they can to kind of, again, follow protocol and make sure everybody's safe and sound, and hopefully people will show up and have a really good time and respect everybody, for whatever it is, whatever direction they're going. If they wear a mask or don't wear a mask, let's just all try to respect that and have a great week in Minidoka. Big yard sale this weekend at Pomeroyal Place in Burley. They're on Bennett Avenue Friday and Saturday to benefit the Alzheimer's Association. A couple of other quick things. The Wilson Theater, their Color Run, they're going to go ahead and launch that. That's always been a fun event for them and a fundraiser for the Wilson Theater. It's Saturday, August 8th. And do want to give a shout-out to the city of Rupert. They've got some great sports opportunities coming up for kids. The Tri-City Recreation group over there between Rupert, Hayburn, and Paul, they're going to offer flag football, soccer, and volleyball. And I do believe the final date to register is August 26th. If you need some more information, you can go to any of the city halls of Rupert, Paul, or Hayburn and fill out those forms.
Oh, my.
Last but not least, if you're not receiving our e-blast every Monday, please let's get you on the list. Again, a very informative piece of information that kind of gives you a heads up of what's happening throughout the course of the week. So we'd love to have you be part of that as well.
Wow. Lots of things, good things going on. And as you know, we always end the program with a little embarrassment segment. And that's, of course, in asking you, the Chamber President and CEO, a trivia question. You made the statement to me 2 weeks ago on this program, I was gone last Thursday, that if it was a musical question, you absolutely would not fail. So here you go. Are you ready?
Wait a minute. Let's clarify that. Okay, I didn't say I absolutely would not fail. I think I gave you like a certain time frame, like the 60s and the 70s and maybe the early 80s.
Picky. I am going to adhere to your admonishment of me just now, and I'm going to give you a question that does refer to that time frame. Are you ready, my dear? Here's the question.
Okay.
What was the biggest hit for the world-famous Beach Boys?
I wish they all could be California girls.
No.
Right? It wasn't?
No.
Oh, what was it?
Help Me, Rhonda.
Help Me, Rhonda. Well, help me, Rhonda. Where's Rhonda when I need her?
Yeah, she's in a Volkswagen driving down Overland right now. Well, I tell you what, I feel so good that I adhered to your wishes, and you still did not come up with the answer.
You did. As always, it's a true pleasure up until this point of speaking to you every Thursday morning. I hear more about this than you can imagine.
Really?
I think people have faith in me that one of these days I'm finally going to get ahead of the game.
I wouldn't bet my lunch.
Well, me either, but we'll let them think what they want.
Okay.
But I appreciate the fan support out there.
Penny, God bless you. Thanks on behalf of the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, President and CEO Penny Main, thank you so much. She's gone. Okay. Oh, let's see what else have we got to cook here. We got something on the pot. Yes, we do. We've got to tell everybody we're going to be over at Denny's restaurant today at 11:30 for lunch bunch. Please, please, please adhere to our mask and our social distancing and no handshaking. But we're going to be there giving out door prizes from Smith's, Walmart, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin Denny's, all of that and more. So please be there at 11:30 for our great food and really nice people at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Want to also give you the good word and the shout-out. Let's see, what else have I got? My log sheet got a little bit water stained, and so I'm sitting here trying to put everything back together again. Want to remind you about Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. My, life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more. They are very dedicated and responsive to your needs. You call, make an appointment, they will serve you. Todd and the rest of the staff, excellent people to work with. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Number 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. You know what we're going to do right now? We're going to listen to an interview that my dear friend Sharon conducted with Nick Greenwell at both Burley Physical Therapy and Elite Fitness. So, Sean, if you would, please.
Good morning. What a beautiful day to be alive, and here at Elite Fitness with Nick. Nick, you have got the most wonderful facility here. I am amazed at all the things you have going on. By the way, this is Sharon, and I'm here with Nick. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I appreciate you coming over and chatting with me today.
So, Nick, I was looking at this list that you guys have got. I mean, my goodness sakes, there's stuff on here. I have no clue what you have. What is trapeze?
You know, we have a big variety of group fitness classes here at Elite. It's one of the things that we're most proud of is we feel like we probably have the biggest variety of classes with a large number of instructors with various experience levels and backgrounds and expertises. But as far as trapeze goes, it's a very unique class that we started a few months ago, and it's a yoga class that is suspended. So we have trapezes upstairs hanging from our ceiling, and Kylie Orton is our instructor. She went and got certified, and she's been teaching this for a few months for us. And so it's a very unique way of performing yoga. The biggest take-home with that is because it's suspended, we can offer a lot of spinal traction with that. So people with disc issues, bad backs, bad hips, things like that.
They can still move.
Exactly. They can still move. We can get inverted and create a lot of traction on their spine, along with our true yoga poses, our isometric contractions, and a really good core workout. I tell you what, it's probably, if not one of the most popular classes that we have here. It sells out in about 2 seconds. We offer it once a month, once or twice a week, depending on how often you feel like you can come at various times. And so if you want to get into the yoga trapeze class, you got to call us early because it books up fast.
How fun. Okay, now I see Silver and Fit. Silver and Fit is kind of a little bit self-explanatory in that it's for us more mature people.
That's a very pleasant way of putting it, Sharon. Yes, Silver and Fit is a program that we have that is designed specifically for our senior patrons or folks that have a very or a lower impact level or a lower intensity that they're searching for. We have an instructor by the name of Callie Harrell that's certified, and we are seeing that class once to twice per week, depending on the week and what the ladies or the participants like. It's Medicare sponsored, and a lot of our senior insurances, Blue Cross, Medicare Advantages, and all of those sponsor that, and so it's free of charge. You don't even have to have a membership to come to that class, and like I say, most of the time insurance is covering that. Our office manager, Cheyenne Feldhauser, is the master of researching and getting people certified and qualified for that, and so if you have any questions about the Silver and Fit program, make sure you give us a call and talk to Cheyenne, and she can walk you through every step of it. And again, it's a really good way of coming in and getting a low-impact workout. We specifically target strength and balance for our aging folks to help keep them from falling and stay off the ground. My mother is the poster child for this. She comes every week. She loves it. There's a group of ladies in particular that are coming while she's coming, and they never miss. They love it.
Awesome. Okay, you've got a couple others here I want to ask you about, but you mentioned something in talking about Silver and Fit. Membership. What is membership?
So we have a sliding kind of a membership here. It's unique to this facility. And again, it's one of the things that I think sets us apart from a lot of our competitors in that gym memberships can become fairly expensive.
Yes.
Right? And so we've done our very best here at Elite to try and keep the cost down. And so we have two different ways that we do that. One, we have a frequency-based membership, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, at least in this area, in that if you come to the gym 12 or more times in a month, and we track that through your electronic key up front, your membership gets cut almost in half. And so memberships are as low as $12 or $13 per month.
So the more you come, the less it costs?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my gosh, that's unusual.
And so if you're not interested in that, then we have a standard program to where it doesn't matter. You can come anytime you like. There's no frequency involved. And we are a 24/7 gym, so you can come at 2 in the morning if you want to. And that runs as low as about $21 a month, depending on your method of payment and such. But we feel like that's a very low cost for a very comprehensive gym with a lot of free classes and comprehensive equipment. I tell you what, we're over 12,000 square feet of office space here, and you can attest. We have a lot of equipment, a lot of really nice weight training things. We have free weights. We have cardiovascular equipment. We have classes. We have open space. We have circuit training equipment, along with a variety of experience here of people to ask questions and skilled service like physical therapy, personal training, nutritional counseling, all kinds of stuff.
So on your class list, and you've got an extensive class list, you've got a couple other items on here that I'm curious about. Boot camp and MMA.
So boot camp is a program that's run by one of our personal trainers by the name of Brittany Murphy. And so it's a small-scale class, usually 4 or 5 participants, and she selectively takes you at certain times, and I'm not going to say this politically correct, kind of beats you up. I tell you what, if you want a good workout, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to build muscle, maybe you want to get in shape for a marathon, whatever it is, she takes those goals and she creates a custom program for you. She has tons of experience, and she puts you through the paces, and you get what you pay for. It's an incredible class. I've done it myself, and she humbled me. I'm a 50-year-old man now, Sharon, and I tell you what, my wife and I took this boot camp from her, and we dragged ourselves in the door at night some nights. But I tell you what, you feel good afterward. You lose weight. You meet your goals. So it's phenomenal.
So if you're going to do a lot of hiking or get ready to go hunting,
absolutely,
get ready for football, get ready for track, this would be a good class for that.
Absolutely, and it's not. It doesn't have to be super high intensity. It was in our case because that was our goal, right? But Brittany's very good about achieving a certain level based on what your goal is. Maybe your goal is, I want to be able to take my grandkids fishing.
Okay.
And I need to be able to walk up a gentle grade for a mile, whatever it is, right? And so she incorporates that into a training program, and she puts together a really nice individualized program. And so it's a little more than just coming to the gym and getting on the treadmill or kind of going through the paces and choosing what you want to do. It's very closely supervised with Brittany.
Okay.
She's got it all timed out. She has it mapped out. She's very, very thorough and prepared. And so when you show up, there's a plan in place for that hour and a half, whatever you book. And you get a little bit of rest, but she's going to work you, and you're going to meet your goals.
That's awesome. So then what is MMA?
So MMA is something that's, again, new and very unique to the area like this. MMA stands for Mixed Martial Arts. And so we have a group of gentlemen that are professional fighters and professional fight coaches that have years and years and years of professional experience in the industry. They relocated here from Las Vegas not too long ago, and we're looking for a very comprehensive place to train because they're continuing to be professional fighters and compete at a very high level. One of our instructors, his name is Clay Collard, and he is on the professional fighting circuit right now. He does both mixed martial arts and is a professional boxer. Had a big fight last week on ESPN and got a big win. It was pretty fun for our hometown boy. And anyway, those guys have tons of experience, and so we've put together a program where we have adult MMA classes every day of the week except Sunday. And it's a variety of exercise to include cardiovascular stuff, boxing, wrestling, stretching, core stuff, endurance. And then we also have kids MMA classes now. So we have kids between 4 and 10 that come in for a kids MMA class called Little Samurais. We also have women's classes, self-defense classes, and we're starting to work with cops and firemen.
Wow, all right. You've got nutritionist Callie Harrell, you've got a physical training, Brittany Murphy, physical training Justin Horsley, and physical therapy, you, Nick, and Bailey. How amazing here at Elite Fitness. Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate having you.
Right there, you listen to two people that are really enthusiastic about what they're doing. Sharon is enjoying the workouts and the rehabilitation on her legs. And Nick, of course, he really goes gung-ho, helping everybody at Burley Physical Therapy and Elite Fitness. Congratulations. Great job. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right now, I want to remind you about our friends at Patterson's Electronics. Oh, my goodness sakes, Curtis and Lorena and the whole staff serving you at 421 East Main in Burley. You say, well, what do they have? Well, I guess the other question would be, what don't they have? They got everything over there for all your electronic needs, whether it's the cables or the power cords or steel hitches, or whether it's all your electronic needs like your home theater systems, video surveillance cameras, car stereos and speakers, complete sound systems, or television sets from Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, LG TVs. Woo! The list goes on. They can serve you, and they will. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. Patterson's Electronics, 421 East Main in Burley. Number to call, 678-6997. Well, I have just a moment here before I go to my next guest on the next segment. I also want to remind you that the Bennett Boys Auction Service is going to have a big sale coming up this Saturday over in the Buell area at 1281 East, 4051 North, and that's the Callan Estate Auction. It's going to be at 11 o'clock this Saturday morning, and it's managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. They're going to have vehicles like an 83 Chevy pickup and a 97 Gulfstream Sun Voyager Model 8 travel trailer, lots of farm equipment, shop items, Black & Decker Workmate, lawn and garden items, furniture and household items, some really nice bookcases. Oh, my goodness, they're good looking. And miscellaneous items. All of this and more at the Callan Estate Auction at 11 o'clock this coming Saturday, located in Buell at 1281 East, 4051 North. Look for the auction signs. Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Absolutely going to be a good sale. You be sure and stop over. One other quick note before we go too much further is I wanted to remind everybody about Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Now, they're having a great big, huge, that means really big, flooring event. And you'd better get on in there because not only are you going to save money, but you're going to get an opportunity to beautify your home like never before with prices on carpet, 3 different stages of prices. That's right. They've got the standard carpet and all the way to the premium carpet, and the same with the luxury vinyl. Standard, better, and premium at 3 different prices to help you save money. 48 months, same as cash on approved credit, so you can carpet your entire home or luxury vinyl your entire home. And like I said, save money at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More for the sensational flooring event at 459 Overland in Burley. These are really nice people. You stop in and see them today. Right now, let's go to the telephone. And I cannot think of a better person to have on the program as often as I can get him and arrange it for his schedule than Dr. Gerard Romero with his latest book, Real World Socialism. Sir, good morning, and thank you for taking the time to come on.
Oh, happy to be on with you. I really appreciate your show.
Dr. Lamaro, you and I have been friends for quite some time, and Sean, I've got a little bit of feedback there in the background on the feed line, if you could help me on that, please. But right now, here we are at mid-July. Where in the world are we as far as politics and all this insurrection? I've never seen anything like this. Did you expect this?
I didn't expect it to be this bad for this long, but I did expect it. These are political-based activities. The virus has been exploited for political purposes, and the anarchy in the streets is also done for political purposes. And your listeners probably say, why? What's the benefit to the Democrats to have anarchy in the streets? Well, let me tell you, it's pretty simple. I'll go back to 2008. John McCain ran for president. He got 4% of black American voters. In 2016, Donald Trump was able to push it up to 8% of black Americans voted for him, and he won the election. The most recent numbers we've been seeing are 35%, 40% of black Americans are going to vote for Trump. This is an attempt to make race a big issue so that the blacks will come back and vote for the Democrats like they did for 50 years. Every presidential election, it was dominated by black American voters voting for Democrats. They're hoping to get the Democrats back, and I think that's what they're trying to do. But the funny thing is, it is backfiring on them. Talking to people in the inner cities, black residents, they are upset. Why? Because they don't want to get rid of the police. The police protect them. When they have a crime happen, they have to call the police. They need help. If they have a shooting, they want the police there to stop it. And the fact that the Democratic mayors of big cities and the Democratic governors of blue states are refusing to defend the people and the property in their cities is really hurting the Democratic Party. It is solidifying the support for Donald Trump. It's going to make Donald Trump a landslide victor, and they don't understand it yet, but they're going to get hit over the head with it.
Dr. Lamero, when you look at the polling in the United States today, and again, Sean, over at the studio, my engineer, please ride that gain just a little bit on the feedback. You look at the polling, and some polls are showing Biden up by 12 or 13% or 8% or 10%, whatever the numbers are, to a man that doesn't even come out of the basement and can't even construe a solid sentence together without making a mistake or a faux pas. How is this happening?
Well, those polls are not right. You study the polls in detail, and I do look at whatever comes out, publicly, where they allow information out about their polls. These polls are being conducted in ways that I do not think represent the American electorate. There are mistakes in it. My book, More Great News for America, I wrote in 2018. I wrote about why the polls are wrong. There are a bunch of reasons, and they are happening all over again right now. And by the way, at this time in the Dukakis race, 1988, Dukakis was ahead by just about the same amount now as Biden is ahead in the polls. And of course, Dukakis went on to lose. Hillary was ahead. She went on to lose. And Biden is supposedly ahead, and he went on to lose. The fact is, these polls are just plain not accurate.
Dr. Lamero, when you look at the situation across the United States with the Portland mayor, Ted Wheeler, standing up on the 56th day of insurrection and chaos in his city and picking up a microphone and siding with the anarchists, saying that he's going to support them. And then you listen to Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, and then the idiocy of Bill de Blasio in New York City. Wow, is America really in that bad a shape?
Well, I'll tell you, the Democrats in the big cities who've been running the big cities for the last 50 years, if there's any problems in those cities, it's their fault, because they should have run them better. But let's face it, they are siding with the protesters, and you know why? Because the protesting group, if you do the research, Black Lives Matter is a Marxist political organization, unquestionably. The leaders will say publicly they are Marxist-trained radicals. They want the overthrow of the government. They've said that. They do not want America the way it's been. And the Democratic mayors, though, are foolishly supporting them. Why? Because the Democratic Party has itself become a Marxist socialist organization. And the policies they are now proposing are Marxist, socialist, communist proposals. That's why they're going to go down to a bitter defeat. And why the Democratic Party, I have predicted for a long time, after this election will go out of business. Because they have gone too far away. They've strayed too far off the ranch of the American voter.
Dr. Lamero, even here in a very conservative area, southern Idaho, a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, they had a march for Black Lives Matter. And when you looked at the picture of the marchers, they were probably, and I'm not saying all, but most all, were probably 24 years of age or under, much under. And they're being duped into marching for a Marxist organization like Black Lives Matter. What are we going to do? How are we going to change the mindset of these youngsters in America to be proud again of America?
Well, generally, as they get older and get a job and get married and get a house, they change. But the answer in the long term is we need to fix our educational system. And that's going to take you and me and everybody else who has anything to do with the schools to change. For example, in one school district that I know in the country, they decided the conservatives got together and they said, we're going to take over the school board. We're not going to let these liberals and radicals run the schools. Well, you know what? They won the election. They ran as conservatives, and now they're teaching the Constitution in that school district. They're teaching people how great America is. We need to do that in every school district in the country. Everywhere there's a school, it needs to teach American values and how truly great and exceptional this country is. There's no other country in the world that was ever created on the idea that God gave us all freedom and freedom is what the country needs to guarantee. That's why we are exceptional. We're not exceptional because we're rich. We're rich because we're exceptional, and we have exceptional freedom.
A few moments ago in your conversation, you used the words that the virus, the coronavirus, is being exploited for political purposes. I wish more people could see that and see through the false Western Front building the Democrats are trying to purport to the American public. What are your thoughts about this virus, where we are, and what the hazards are going forward? Please explain that.
Well, it's obviously a tough virus if you get it, if you're older, especially people over 85 with a medical condition. They are at risk. They're mostly the people who died. About a third of the people who died are over 85 and over, and had a medical condition. Well, we have to protect our seniors. But what else do I think? I think kids in schools rarely get it, and the few that get it don't get any kind of symptoms at all. We should not close our schools. We should not close our colleges and universities. The only benefit to close the colleges is the Marxist professors don't have anybody to teach. But we don't really need to close them because young people don't get it either. Now, there's a few cases here and there, and if there's ever a case, the media exploits it. But the media is not talking about all the data that supports the fact that we can go back to normal today. We don't have to be closed.
Absolutely.
They give you the data. They won't publish the stories. It has to slip through here and there with people who are really trying to educate the public.
Absolutely.
They are trying to educate. They are trying to dominate. They're trying to hurt the economy, to hurt Donald Trump, and to hurt his reelection.
You know, real quick, we've got another caller waiting on the line, but I want to ask you this question as a follow-up. When you look at Gavin Newsom in California all the way to the governor of New Jersey and de Blasio in New York, et cetera, as the mayor, and the reclosure attitude that they want to try to implement, America can't stand another lockdown. What are your thoughts real quick, and then we'll take a call?
Well, America shouldn't have to stand it. It's not needed. The data simply is not there. It is bad, but you can protect the people at risk. But all the other people running around with their masks are just playing a game. It's a game. And the media is making believe that everybody should worry, everybody should be afraid, everybody should hide their head in the sand. It's just, there's no data. I have looked at the data. I am a data person. That's why I do forecasting for elections. I love data and numbers. And there's no data that supports this.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lamero. We're going to go to the phone line right now and take a call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air, please.
Yes, Deb. I got a question for your guest. Somebody very, very close to me is very concerned about the coronavirus. It's not that they are easily led into anything. It's just they're pretty scared about it. And is there any way I can get some kind of information, some kind of numbers or facts or anything to put in front of them to help them? Because they're afraid to go out without a mask, and I guess they did buy into it, but I'd like to help them see my side of things.
I'll have Dr. Lamero respond to you. If you would, please, sir. Go ahead.
Well, there are lots of things out there. You have to be following the news closely, but one way you can get some information is go to my website, greatnewsforamerica.com, greatnewsforamerica.com, all spelled out as one word. And I have lots of articles on COVID virus. I have lots of articles on why it makes no sense to close down the country and why it should be opened up. You can read those articles. And by the way, one thing I do with a lot of my articles is I give the references, I give the sources. If people don't believe what I say, they can look it up themselves in the original articles. And there's lots of data out there, and I've cited lots of good references for you.
Dr. Lamero, I want to go back a little bit and talk more about this election. The media is very biased against Donald Trump and his possible re-election in November. There's only one or two stations and or networks that have given him any kind of a fair shake. But when you listen to the Democrats and you listen to their supposed platform, I really haven't heard anything come from the Democrats, and especially Joe Biden's basement, that really would give America a shot at becoming even better than what Donald Trump had before the virus. What are your thoughts?
Well, they don't have an agenda that's any good. Only thing they are pushing are socialist, Marxist, and communist ideas. They want this Medicare for all, which will destroy the medical system. Anybody who's got a socialized medicine system is doing poorly, medically speaking. For example, up in Canada, I've heard stories of people who are seriously ill, needing an emergency heart surgery that has to wait 6 months. People die in socialized medicine systems waiting for the free medical care they get. They have to wait months and months online to get free care. And so we know that the Democrats are just pushing socialism. And take a look at the last Democrat socialist who ran in the world, Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. He took the richest country in South America, oil-rich Venezuela, and he destroyed it in a matter of a couple of years once he became president. He said, I'm a Democrat socialist. And he promised his people everything for free, everything for free. And what do they have now? Dire, desperate poverty, with the people literally starving to death. The average Venezuela, in the last study I have, lost 24 pounds because they're starving. They don't have food even, let alone all the other things of life.
Dr. Lamero.
That's what the Democratic Party is offering America. It's a lousy vision for the future, and anybody who's got 2 cents on their head ought to vote against socialism, communism, and Marxism.
Let me ask you this. You have done a lot of research over the years, and every time I've had you on the program, your prognostications have been spot on because of your study. Now, looking at Biden and his possible naming of a black woman as vice president, who very possibly, with Biden's health and his vacant stare and his mental lack of acuity, might not make the first 4 years of the presidency, that person might step into the Oval Office. Who do you think he is going to pick as a vice presidential running mate?
That's a great question. A lot of people have different opinions in that. I think Michelle Obama wants it because the idea is that if she gets in there and she becomes president in a year or two, or, if he goes off the deep end mentally in that, has dementia or whatever, then we'd have the Obamas back in office, and Obama would be back in charge, and he'd be the real president, and she'd be the figurehead. So I think Michelle Obama is his choice.
Now, of the people that have been recognized as potential choices, her name has kind of been poo-pooed that she won't take it. So you're saying just the opposite.
Yeah, well, people poo-poo it because they don't want to make it like they're interested. But they're the very ones you got to look at. And I think she did everything. She wrote a book. They write books before they run for president. She went out to do voter registration in Michigan, a pivotal state. She looks like she's running. She's just not telling anybody that just yet.
Does it concern you, though, with the power that the Obamas had over the liberal electorate, that if she was named as a running mate, that might change the complete configuration of possibly re-electing Donald Trump?
Not at all. It might pick a couple of votes away. Instead of him getting 40% of the black vote, maybe he gets 39.5%. It might pick away a few votes, but it's not going to make any kind of difference overall. People vote for president. They rarely vote for a vice president.
Okay, we have another call with a question quickly. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, if the Democratic Party should get in,
do you see the cartels being in control of the United States?
Wow. Dr. Lamero will answer that one. Go ahead, please.
That's an excellent question. I think the answer is they have a lot more control because people get control when you have a corrupt government. And let's face it, Joe Biden is associated with a lot of corruption. He went with his son to China, and the Chinese gave his son $1 billion to his company. And Biden took his son to Ukraine, and Ukraine got, what was it, paid him $100,000 a month, $50,000 a month, some ridiculous amount of money, and that was because Biden pressured them. And so he has a long history. He's got other family members that have been reported to have done strange deals, and so I would expect the drug cartels will have a lot more freedom under a Biden administration. But I'll tell the caller, I don't think Biden has any chance of winning.
With the statement that you just made about Biden not having any chance of winning, do you think that there could be another fly in the milk to where maybe the Democratic Party will realize that the vacant stare in Joe's eyes means he can't handle the job, and there will be a last-minute reshuffling of the deck of cards to put somebody in as the president nominee?
That's entirely possible. A lot of Democrats know he's not up to the job. They've listened to his statements. He said some bizarre things that are just totally flat out wrong. The guy has got problems, let's face it. I don't want to wish anybody bad luck or bad health, but he's not altogether. And a lot of Democrats know it. They're worried sick he's going to debate Trump. They really don't want him to debate Trump because Trump will probably tear him to shreds in the debate. He's going to look like a fool compared to Donald Trump. And so I think a lot of people would, but I think they're going to have a hard time because they pushed him so hard, and he's got the delegates right now to win.
Let me ask you a final thought here this morning, and there's been so many outcries from these liberal mayors and liberal representatives against the federal government coming into Chicago, Seattle, Portland, whatever, to try to quench and stop all this idiocy of rioting and anarchy. What are your thoughts about the possibility of overstepping bounds with the federal government going into these cities?
I don't think it's overstepping bounds to protect the American people. When you have people being shot, literally left and right, 14 people shot a day in some cases, 70 shot in some cases, 10 die here, 10 die there. The American people want to be protected. And then, of course, when you also allow anarchy, where they allow people to burn down buildings, destroy property, loot buildings, loot businesses. The American people are fed up with that. They want peace in their communities, peace in their neighborhood, peace at their home. They also want peace with other countries. Donald Trump is doing that, and he will be applauded for being a tough president. They want a tough president.
Dr. Gerard Lamero with his brand new book called Real World Socialism. Last question, how's the book doing?
The book's doing really well. It's doing the best of all my books. I have 6 books on Amazon. And by the way, I've got a great book on freedom. I've got a great book that deals with polling, the More Great News for America. So I've got some good books out there, but this one's selling the most. And I think the reason is people are the most afraid of socialism attacking America and taking over. And that's why they're reading it. They want to understand it. They want to understand the arguments. It really puts socialism where it belongs.
Absolutely.
The sheep of history.
Absolutely.
It really takes it on. I think it's the best book written on socialism. That's why it's doing so well.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It is a very worthwhile read for every American. Dr. Gerard Lamero, God bless you, sir, and thank you for your time on the program this morning.
Well, thank you. God bless you, and God bless all your listeners.
Thank you, sir. One of my dear friends on the radio as a guest, Dr. Gerard Lamero. I have, again, the utmost respect for that man, and I thank him for taking the time to come on our program this morning. Right now, I'm running late, as usual. Time for the weather, brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. Yes, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area and beyond for over 50 years. They are the professionals in tax return preparation, tax planning, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, all of this and more. Offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. And here's Gina with the weather.
Possibly some storm action by the afternoon, but still a relatively decent day. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting mostly sunny skies for today. We do have about a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms by later on this afternoon and early evening hours. High of 90 with an overnight low of 57. For tomorrow, looks like sunny skies, high of 86, nice and calm. For Friday night, clear skies with a low of 57. Sunny and 87 for Saturday and Sunday, back up to 90. That's a look at your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Ooh, I'm running late. Got to remind everybody again, the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. And they can help you, your family, and your business. They are the professionals with offices at 1710 Overland in Burley and 620 5th Street in Rupert. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. Wow. Hey, I'm going to do this right now, and I've got to get it done. It's time to talk about if you're hungry and starving to death. I know some great places where you can go. Let's start with the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, my goodness, they got the new kids' meals. Yes, they do. And they've got corn dogs, and they've got everything like lemon freezes and orange freezes. Oh, on a hot day, does that sound good or what? And, of course, the famous Farmer Brown burgers, and they're open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 9. Don't forget AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Let's move on over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Oh, they're back to normal, I'll tell you what. A great place for everybody to get together for your morning coffee, and along with that, have one of the most delicious breakfast burritos. It's fantabulous. And you're going to love also the street tacos and the pork burritos. Oh, everything on the menu. Absolutely great. At Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Let's move over now to not one, but two locations of Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Oh, they've got the fish and the shrimp and the halibut baskets. Have one for the halibut. Don't forget, they've got corn dogs and burritos for only $1.29. Great, nice people serving you. All the menu choices are absolutely phenomenal. They're open every day. They want to see you and enjoy great food at Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And last but not least, Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness. They've got tasty, tasty steaks on the menu, and they've got the patio open, weather permitting, live music on the weekends, and all the menu choices great. They've got cupcakes all over the place. They've got friendly servers. What are you waiting for? Gather up Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred and everybody. Head to Steve-O's for great food at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Wow, I did it. Okay, we're going to take a little break, go to the news, and then come back with the Cache County School Days. Don't go away. Oh, here we go. Yes, sirree, Bob, on a Thursday, July 23. And, of course, we're going to be at Lunch Bunch at 11:30 today at Denny's Restaurant. Zeb at the Ranch brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations, clean, safe environment, and the best in tires for you. Don't forget, too, our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Burley, helping you get back to being you. Before we go to our guest, I want to remind everybody, too, about our friends at Greystone Crossing Senior Living on Alfresco Road, 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. You know, for months, I've been telling you about all the beautiful amenities available for you over at Greystone Crossing. Seniors, I urge you, and I mean this, I urge you to call Matt and Kelly Wiggins at 650-4979. That number again, 650-4979. Make an appointment to see Greystone Crossing. It's a wonderful place for you to reside and be with your friends. Absolutely. Greystone Crossing, Independent Senior Living, 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. You call them, 650-4979. And I really have been lucky to have made the acquaintance of a couple of people that really know how you can help build your own financial security and future through silver purchases. That's right, silver purchases that come right to your home. I'm talking about a saving opportunity for you and a valued treasure for your loved ones in the future. Find out more about 7K Metals by contacting Lon Hardy at 312-8699 or Sharon at 430-3259. Tell them I told you to call. They'll give you the information of 7K Metals. All right, let's go right now to our next segment, and I'm very, very honored to have this lady on our program this morning. She called in yet? Okay, well then we'll just hold off. Thank you very much. You talk about putting my brakes on in a hurry. Okay, pardon me? I believe she's calling now. So in just a moment, we're going to have the Cassia District Nurse on our program, and her name is Lori Stimson, and we've got a lot of things to talk over because we are literally just days away from the, hopefully, opening of the school year in Cassia County School District.
She's on the phone.
Thank you, Sean. And right now we say good morning to Lori Stimson. How are you?
Good. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm not bad, but I'll tell you what, I would not want to trade jobs with you for anything. I'll bet you are really busy right now, more so than ever before.
Oh, yeah, we're in crazy times right now.
Explain to my audience, what do you mean when you say crazy times?
Well, with the COVID-19 and wanting to get kids back to school and parents panicking and, it's just a time that everybody has a lot of concerns, and hopefully we can answer some questions this morning and put parents and students at ease. We want to get kids back in school.
Absolutely. Lori, I'm going to start by being really blunt. What are your thoughts about school openings or not?
I believe that we need to get our kids back in school.
Okay, elaborate.
There's all kinds of illnesses and diseases and things out there, and as long as we're using precautions and kids are hopefully staying healthy and eating right and doing things for their own health, a lot of times we can fight off viruses and things like that. And I know this one's been super publicized, and it seems a lot more scary. And so, there's just things that we can normally do, like eat healthy, get plenty of rest, exercise, things like that to ensure that our body stays healthy.
Now, you would also agree, and again, Sean, the feedback coming down the line, please. You would also agree with me that there are many, many negatives of not going back to school. Describe some of those.
Oh, for sure. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends in-person classrooms just because of mental health of students. Our kids need to be out there and get socializing and try to live as normal life as possible. And it really affects mental health when we're not letting the kids interact and be social and be together and learn.
Absolutely.
We have, of course, unfortunately, we have physical and sexual abuse that happens in homes. And if sometimes the school is a safe place for those kids, where there's mandated reporting, those things get turned in. And then the other issue is food insecurities. a lot of times the school meals are the meals that the kids get, for breakfast and lunch. And so those three things alone, mental health of the students, physical or sexual abuse, and food insecurities, those are three strong reasons that we need to get our kids back in school.
Lori, let me say this, and of course you're the nurse, and you know so much more about this than I would, but a lot of going back to school and staying in school is common sense. If your kids are sick, keep them home. What would you say to that?
I would definitely say that. And being a school nurse, unfortunately, I've had the experience in the past when we've called parents that a student was throwing up or had a temperature, and the parents don't want to come and pick them up.
Oh, my.
So that's my biggest concern is, if your kids are sick, please keep them home. If you're called from a school that they're not feeling well or throwing up or have a fever, we need you to, come and get them so they're not exposing the other kids.
What now? Here we are looking at July 23rd, and literally you are just a few short weeks away from the opening of school. What do parents have to know, realize, or do to make sure their kids are ready to go?
The first and most important thing, I believe, is to get an appointment with your physician. You go get checked by your medical doctor, have a physical exam, eye and ear exam, make sure you're up to date on immunizations, because we do have immunizations for a lot of these childhood illnesses. We don't have it for COVID, but we have it for measles, polio, tetanus, pertussis. We have immunizations. So besides getting a physical exam, get up to date on those immunizations. Make sure that your kids are protected where we have vaccines that have been proven safe to protect them against that. Some of our diseases like measles, the contagion rate is 18%, which is so much more higher than the COVID. And so get those immunizations up to date. And then the other thing is they need to, like I talked about earlier, healthy food choices. Make sure kids are eating breakfast, set routines, limit screen time. Just keep your kids healthy. But I think the most important thing is to get an appointment with your physician and make sure that there are no underlying health issues or concerns.
Lori, I will say this, and you can feel free to correct me, but we, the general public today, pardon me, is so concerned about the coronavirus and the what-ifs. They're not paying attention to what is. When you go back to school, you're going to be subjected to all kinds of things, all kinds of flu, all kinds of colds and other sicknesses. And it seems like parents are more worried about the coronavirus than they are the injections and inoculations for some other deadly diseases like measles and polio. It seems like they overlook that.
Yeah. And that's why I feel it's important, and I worry. They've done some studies and stuff now, and they said that a lot of kids are getting behind on their routine vaccines. But that is extremely important, where we know that they do prevent the illnesses, and they've done studies to make sure they're safe. So we do need to make sure that the kids get in and get their vaccines.
Let me ask you this. What other safety precautions or whatever are being planned or programmed through your office for the safety and the health of the students in the classroom, or whether it's with physical education classes or whatever? What else are you doing?
We're going to implement and provide training on hand washing and hygiene and, cover your cough. And so we're going to have a lot of training for our staff and for our students. In the past, I went into classrooms and done, hand washing programs and stuff. But that's the big thing now, is just educating our parents and our students and our staff on, how not to spread illnesses.
Will there be a daily and or weekly temperature check of the students and the teachers? How is that going to be handled?
Well, and that's now from day to day things change. And at one point, they were going to check everybody's temperature, and now I believe it's if they're showing signs of not feeling well or an illness. And we'd like to educate our parents and have them have thermometers at home and have the parents help us out and be responsible. Because when you have a school building that has 600 to 900 kids, it's impossible to check everybody's temperature. And so we want to educate the parents, and if the students aren't feeling well, if they could take their temperatures at home before they send them to school. And if they're above 100.4, we recommend that they keep them home.
Absolutely. What about the fact that kids are going to be kids? I mean, you cannot legislate to kids. You got to social distance. You can't run and play. You got to wear your mask. I mean, that's not going to work, is it?
It's not, especially for our younger kids, and then, too, where our kids haven't seen each other, they're going to want to talk to their friends and be close to their friends, and we're going to try as much as possible, to educate them and help them, but there's just no way that you can keep them, socially distanced, and there's no way you can keep a mask on every child, and so... It's just going to be really hard, but we're going to do the best that we can.
Let me ask you this. Have you had any planned or proposed seminars to where you are going to be standing up in front of the parents and trying to educate the parents and tell them what they need to do to help?
We haven't at this point, but we have put some stuff on our district website. Like in the spring when this first started, we put out hand-washing videos. Our staff, we're going to train them on hand washing and also proper donning and doffing of masks and gloves to protect themselves. There's a proper way to put those things on, and that's the other thing. Unless people are properly trained on how to put on their face mask, and if they're gloving, to clean up stuff, there's a proper way to take them off, too. And if you aren't properly using them, then the contamination is there, and it can be just as harmful as not even having them.
Okay.
And so...
One final thought I want to get into quickly, and I've only got a couple of minutes left, is what about sports, extracurricular activities? I mean, to be a well-rounded student, you have to have a curriculum that involves sports and sporting activities. How are they going to be handled?
They're having lots of meetings at the state level and even at our local level. We're talking about that today. I just stepped out of a meeting to take this call, and so the athletic departments are trying to decide on that and what to do.
Okay.
And so I think right now it's in the works, and there isn't anything set in stone. And like I said, things change daily on like temperatures and different things like that too. And so they're trying to keep the athletics going, but I know that they're going to have some precautions, and they're working on that. And, daily we're getting information and updating, and so...
Okay. Lori, any final thoughts? I've got about 30 seconds left that you want to tell the audience this morning about school opening for this fall.
I'm just excited that we're going to try to go back, and like I said, we're going to take precautions. We're going to need lots of help from parents. I just want people to stay healthy and happy, and we'll just take it, a day at a time.
Absolutely. Wonderful lady, and she's always welcome on my program, the Cassia County District Nurse, Lori Stimpson. God bless you, and thanks, Lori, so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Wonderful lady with a lot of good information right there, Lori Stimpson. I appreciate that. Right now, I'm going to, I think Sean's got Greg Walden on the phone, and if he's not, he will be shortly.
Right now.
Ah, you're a good man, McGee. And we're going to be talking about the Minidoka County Fair that's going to be coming up all next week, and a great ambassador for the fair, and that's Greg Walden. He's going to be on our phone with us momentarily. The fair is going to be July 27th through August 1st, all next week. And, of course, the theme, All-American Flair at the Minidoka County Fair. And if you heard that plane buzzing my studio just now, they are spraying in the field behind me. Deanne, if you could come in here for a minute, please, and close the window, because that pilot is just eyeball to eyeball with me when he goes by the window. And close that window, please, if you would. Let's see if we've got Greg on the phone.
On the phone.
Okay, thank you. Greg, I'm being dive bombed. Smokey and the Bandit and everybody else is over here. Good morning to you.
Zeb Bell, you old freedom fighter, how are you?
I'm really good. It is such a treat to have you on the program and talking about one of the nicest events with a great committee, a great fair board, the Minidoka County Fair. Greg, tell us some of the highlights that are going to be starting next Monday.
Zeb, I don't even know where to start. We got a full boat again this year. I know it's been a crazy year, but we are excited to put a fair on. We're going to kick off Monday with the lawnmower races. I know you love those lawnmower races.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That'll be Monday night. Cost is $5 a person or $25 a family. We got the PMT night at the fair with Nathan Osmond on Tuesday night. That is free to the public in the racetrack grandstands.
All right, and then keep on going down the schedule. I'll let you have the whole thing.
All right, I'll take it, Zeb. Wednesday night, I know you love this, Zeb. We got the Lions Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
You can get tickets from any Lions member. Those tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for ages 6 and under. That kicks off at 5:30. We got Ray Kilpack singing at that. And then at 7 o'clock, we got the ice cream and cobbler social that's free to the public. That's the fair board puts that on. We cook up that cobbler. We got some ice cream donated. It's going to be a good time to come sit and visit with your neighbors, talk to them. Thursday and Wednesday night also, and Thursday night will be our junior rodeo starting at 7 o'clock each night. Tickets are $6 and 6 and under are free. And then Friday and Saturday night, we got our open rodeo. Mutton busting starts at 7. Rodeo starts at 7:30. We got family tickets for those. Family tickets are $30. Adult tickets are $8. Kids 6 to 12 are $5, and 6 and under is free, Zeb.
Oh, my goodness.
The final out on Saturday, too, at 9 a.m. sharp. We're going to be doing the livestock sale for the kids.
Uh-huh.
That's going to start at 9 a.m. Come support these kids, Zeb. We are doing something different this year. If you don't feel comfortable coming to bid, you can get a hold of myself, or you can email Minidoka Livestock Sale at gmail.com. We can get you filled out, and we can call you when that species of animal or that kid that you want to support is coming through. We can call you and take your bids right over the phone during the sale.
Oh, man. You know, what is it about the Minidoka County Fair that makes it so unique and so special, Greg?
Zeb, you know, the community in our area is near and dear to my heart, and it's just awesome to have those people be able to come somewhere. You can sit. We got picnic tables, plenty of shade, great food vendors. Just sit there and visit with your neighbor. A lot of these people don't get to see each other until the fair every year, so it's just like a big old family reunion.
And one thing about your fair, there's no gate fee and the parking is free. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah, you just come in the front or the back. You know, we try to, on those busy nights, Zeb, we try to have a wagon or something running around, because we fill up, Zeb. There's a lot of people come to that. You might have to park out back, but we'll get you up to the front. There'll be somebody coming around, but, yeah, you can park in the front and the back, wherever you can find a spot. Walk on in. No charges. Come find you a scone, a hamburger, a crepe, snow cone, whatever you think you need. Sit down, visit, watch a show, watch those kids work. I mean, it's great, Zeb. It's just like an old-time fair.
Absolutely. What are some of the special exhibits that you're going to have at the fair, Greg?
Oh, I'll tell you what, Gary Shoresman does a bang-up job on our antique building. There's all sorts of cool antiques there you can show off. The open class building's open. You can bring your favorite jam, pictures, crochet, you name it, Zeb. You want to enter at the fair, you can get that done.
Okay. Now, it starts next Monday. What about the starting times? When do the gates open, and when can everybody come in and just walk around and enjoy all the exhibits?
I would say, Zeb, on Monday is a lot of the people getting entered in the open class. There's really no buildings open. Kids are bringing their animals in. So really, I mean, we open every day at 8 a.m., but if you want to come walk around and try to see everything, Monday night, Tuesday morning, that stuff's going to open up, and you can kind of see what everybody's done for the year, what they've entered in the fair.
that kind of thing.
Okay. Now, what about some of the events that are going on, like the Tiny Tot Gymkhana and the Junior Rodeo, and for that matter, the Open Rodeo? Are all the entries already in?
No, we're taking entries on the Junior Rodeo right now. The Tiny Tot Gymkhana, you just come ahead, I believe. I think you can sign up in the fair office, but you can enter that night as well if you get there early. The Junior Rodeo, you need to get in there now. You got some paperwork to fill out. Just go to the fair office, and Leanne can help you out.
Okay. Now, what about the tiny? I asked you about that. The lawnmower races. Are they still taking entries for that?
I believe so. Joe Phillips would be the guy to talk to. Again, I think you can enter the night of. If you want to get a heads up, just get a hold of Joe Phillips and East End Fire Department. They're the ones that put that on. And it's always a good time. Those guys do a great job. It's fun seeing them things cruise around the arena.
You know, we're seeing a huge influx of numbers of cowboys that have been basically at home doing nothing for about 3-4 months. I think your Open Rodeo is going to be really big this year.
Oh, it's going to be huge. I'll tell you, I was in Oakley last week, and I'm not promising anything, but there was some NFR guys entered in that Oakley Rodeo last week. I'm expecting we'll probably see the same thing this week in Rupert. You just never know who you're going to see right now show up at a rodeo and rope.
What's the fascination for you? I mean, you really get emotional, and I respect you for it because of your ties to the Minidoka Fair. Why do you put so much work and effort into it, Greg?
Deb, I just think it's important that we give back to the community. I mean, that community has supported us through the years. The fairgrounds looks better than ever. They come out and support the kids in the livestock sales. So I just feel like it's important we give back to them. We give them a place to go. We give them a place to sit down and eat. I mean, it's a great time, Zeb. I can't explain to a tenth of what you see at that fair. I mean, you see people that haven't been around for a while. It's a good area to get out. I know things are a little scary. If you want to wear a mask and come, that's great. If you don't want to wear a mask, it's your choice to be there. It's just a good old county fair.
Let me ask you this. You said the key word. Let's wrap it up on this note. What about all the food booths? Are you going to have a lot of great food over there?
I think this year, Zeb, we've got a few new ones coming in. I think we got 14 food booths total. We got ice cream, scones, hamburgers, fries, Philly cheesesteaks. We got corn dogs. We got Dutch oven. We got, I'm starting to get hungry, Zeb. I can't go on.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there's anybody that's going to give a sample and tell us about it, it's going to be you next week on the program. Greg Walden, God bless you with the Minidoka County Fair. Thanks for being on the show this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me, Zeb. We'll look forward to seeing you guys at the fair. Zeb, you got to get out there. Look me up. I'll buy you a corn dog.
I'll take it. Thanks, Greg Walden. God bless. Thank you so much. Boy, I tell you what, they have a lot of fun at the Minidoka County Fair. Nice people over there, and I mean that sincerely. Right now, we're going to get ready to send this back over to our main studio for a couple of minutes. Then we're going to come back and visit with an old friend of ours, Corey, at Berry Equipment and Rental. We're going to abbreviate the program a little bit this morning because I've got to get on the road and chug right on down the highway to the lunch bunch. So we'll send it over to the studio. I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KVAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
We've had a lot of fun on the program this week, a lot of serious stories that we've talked about and everything, and I just want to thank you, the audience, for your involvement. I mean, you keep the phone lines ringing. I could never be more pleased with the audience that I have on this program. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this program what it is. I really appreciate it. That being said, we're going to go to one of our sponsors on this show, and we're going to find all about their big equipment. I mean, they've got all kinds of equipment for the job that needs to be done, and we're going to visit right now with Corey over at Berry Equipment and Rental in Burley. Corey, you old sidewinder, what are you doing?
Well,
I've just been hanging out waiting to talk to you today, Zeb.
Well, now tell us, what's a day in the life of a Berry Equipment and Rental salesperson? What do you do? Get up in the morning and drink coffee? Just wait for the phone to ring? What do you do?
Not exactly. But, yeah, so I'm outside sales, so I travel around. I go see people as much as I can. I bring equipment out to people and let them demo it and just talk to people, get to know people, get to know their needs and their wants and that sort of thing. And, you know, try to use that because I got equipment that work for about everybody. So my goal is to go out and see people and find out what they need.
Well, let me ask you about that. I mean, how do you know who to see? Is it like feedlot operators? Is it somebody that's got maybe kind of a gravel pit? Or is it somebody that you see's building a home or putting up a garage? I mean, how do you know who to stop in and see?
Yeah, I mean, literally everybody from construction to landscaping to dairies. I mean, everybody uses, this compact equipment, skid steers and mini excavators and then our heavy equipment and loaders and large excavators. Man, they're just becoming more and more popular. And you don't see as much of the old, before everyone just used a tractor backhoe, and now they're finding this compact equipment and heavy equipment that we got here is just so much more just easier to use and more efficient.
Well, let me ask you...
Really, across the board, I stop everywhere.
Okay.
Pretty much everywhere.
Let me ask you this question then. When you go to see people and they have a certain job that needs to be done, it might involve one of the sizes of the Bobcats, or it might involve trenchers or the Doosan wheel loaders or whatever. Basically, for any kind of a job of lifting, digging, pushing, and carrying, you've got the equipment, right?
Absolutely. Yep, we got everything, small to big. Pretty much any job you can think of, we got something that'll get it taken care of for you.
Now, when you talk to these people, I can imagine many of them, I would, have trepidations about running equipment they've never used before. How do you handle that situation?
Well, that's exactly why I love to bring equipment out to people. I'm out and about all the time, and I pull a trailer, so I just load it on, I'll bring it out and leave it with you for a couple days. I'll go through all the options with you and teach you how to run it and make sure you don't have any questions before I leave, and then I'll let you play around with it and figure things out for yourself.
Oh, I see. Now, there is a couple of different programs. If they want to buy the equipment, you've got great financing programs, or if they want to rent the equipment. Talk about both of those quickly, if you would, Corey.
Absolutely. Now, Bobcat's always got amazing programs for purchasing. 0% financing for up to 60 months. They're going up to 72 months right now on about 1.9% financing. Our lease rates have a negative interest rate, so they're just awesome. And then, of course, we rent just about everything also, and we got competitive rental rates on everything. So, whatever your needs are, come to Berry Rental. We can get you taken care of.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about that. You say come to Berry Rental. What are your hours so they can catch you?
7:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday, and then we're 8 to 4:30 on Saturdays in Twin Falls.
Okay.
And we're closed in Burley on Saturday.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. Is there another number that they can call to catch you on the road while you're going all over Magic Valley showing people equipment?
Absolutely, and I appreciate you bringing that up. My cell number, call me day or night anytime you need something, is 208-316-6763.
And you'll take care of all the...
I'll call you right back as soon as I can.
All right. Anything else you want to mention right now? Give us the 3 locations and the open times of Berry Equipment and Rental, if you would, please.
Yeah, so once again, we open at 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, in Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa locations. We're located at 159 US 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls. And then we're at 2324 Caldwell Boulevard in Nampa.
Absolutely.
So
I tell you,
see us at any of our locations, and we're happy to get you taken care of any way we can.
you know what you ought to do is pack a great big jug of lemonade with you on these hot days and pull into somebody's yard, and you're going to make a lot of friends.
Probably not a bad idea.
All right. Corey, I want to thank you for coming on the program this morning. And believe me, we thank you on behalf of Berry Equipment and Rental, Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa for being on my show. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Nice person right there. Corey with Berry Equipment and Rental. Let's get to the weather. But before we do the weather, let's remind everybody about Edith's Cafe. Oh, my goodness, what great food. They've got all the different delicious sandwiches. And I tell you what, they've got that barbecued brisket sandwich that will knock your Tony Llamas off. Delicious. Absolutely phenomenal. From all the sandwiches to all the steaks and everything in between, the food is phenomenal at Edith's Cafe, 144 East Highway 81 in Burley, right across from the golf course. These are wonderful people that take a lot of pride in serving you delicious food. They're open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 9, and they do catering at Edith's Cafe, 144 East Highway 81 in Burley. All right, let's go to the weather forecast real quick. And the weather this hour is brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Once again, I just tipped everything over on the paper. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, brings us the weather forecast. And, of course, you can go to their website, www.scarrowsmeats.com, and check out all the delicious meats for all the various wonderful occasions. Maybe a company picnic or maybe a family reunion, whatever. They've got everything you're looking for. Absolutely all the different flavors of bacon, all the pork chops, the hams, and, of course, the bratwurst and the sausages, the tri-tips, everything at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The telephone number to call, 324-7657. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Possibly some storm action by the afternoon, but still a relatively decent day. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting mostly sunny skies for today. We do have about a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms by later on this afternoon and early evening hours. High of 90 with an overnight low of 57. For tomorrow, looks like sunny skies, high of 86, nice and calm. For Friday night, clear skies with a low of 57. Sunny and 87 for Saturday and Sunday, back up to 90. That's a look at your weather for Zebeth Durant.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Hot. Summertime. Scarrows Meats brings you the weather at 331 North Road, Jerome. Thank you, Don Scarrow. Appreciate all your effort. At Scarrows Meats, they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Absolutely. I want to remind you real quick that I got to get this on one more time. Saturday, August 1st at 10 to 4 at the Twin Falls City Park, there is going to be a Constitutional Republic gathering, and I think this is great. Freedom is the cure. It's going to be at the Twin Falls City Park on Shoshone Street. Free admission, don't forget that, on Saturday, August 1st. Want to give a great big shout out to our major sponsor and all they do on this program, and that's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. If you're going on a trip, they've got what they call the free pre-trip safety check. Well, they'll check your tires, visually inspect the tire pressure, the wheel alignment, check the front end components, and they'll take a look at the brake components and check on the shocks and the struts and the visual battery inspection and load test. All of this before you leave town, and they want you to go where you're going and come back safely. And don't forget, too, they've got all your tires for safe summertime driving, all the different tread designs for your cars, pickups, SUVs, you name it. They have the tires and the knowledge to help you. Don't forget to stop in and see James and Buell, Dan on Pole Line in Twin Falls, Lane and Rupert, Mike and Jerome, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, the Twist family in Paul, Trent on Overland in Burley. Nobody better. They're the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Sean is doing me a big favor by kind of covering for a few minutes with some music as I get on the road to go to Lunch Bunch today at 11:30. And we're going to be back here again next Monday at 8:06. We always end the program by saying, the way things were are the way things ought to be. And the 4 words that mean the most to me, in God we trust. I hope you have a safe, sane weekend. Be careful. Enjoy a lot of time with your family. We'll see you next Monday at 8:06.